This is my first time in this institute, and I must congratulate the founders and the staff here for having set up such a magnificent institute in the vicinity of Varanasi city. I would like to begin by defining what I mean by spirituality, because it means different things to different people. Many people regard that occult phenomena, telepathy, mind reading, psychic experiences and so on to be spirituality. I am not using the word spirituality in that sense. To me, spirituality, the basis of spirituality is freedom from the ego process in our consciousness. There is a beautiful book by Vivekananda entitled What Religion Is, where he explains in his own masterly way how the essence of every religion is to come upon liberation from the ego, freedom from the selfishness and self-centeredness which is otherwise present in the human consciousness. So that one's motives in working, in living, in relating do not remain selfish or self-centered. That's what it means, liberation. Without that liberation, it is not possible to come upon virtue in a deep. As indeed every religion has promulgated ethics. They have said, love your neighbor. They have talked about non-violence. They have talked about not stealing, telling the truth, and so on. And people have tried hard to practice that ethics. But the results show that human beings have not been successful in practicing virtue. Indeed, virtue is a state of mind, a state of being. It is not contained in an action. This was first pointed out by Socrates in the West and by Buddha in the East. Socrates said there is only one virtue, and that is order in consciousness. By order in consciousness, one means non-violence, peace, harmony, love, happiness, joy, which are all orderly states of consciousness. And by disorder in consciousness, one means hatred, conflict, sorrow, fear, all the negative emotions that human consciousness is subject to. So unless one eliminates from one's consciousness the disorderly states of consciousness, you don't really come upon order. You may temporarily come upon love, happiness, joy, and so on, experience it, but it is shattered by the negative emotions which follow. And therefore it's not really a state of virtue, it is just a momentary glimpse into that state. And the real purpose of religion is to end the disorder in consciousness, which is what I mean by liberation or freedom from the ego. And to me, that is spirituality. So that's the sense in which I am using the word spirituality. It is the essence of all religion. The forms differ. The Muslim prays in a different way and he prays without a statue in front of him. The Hindu prays in front of various statues and has various notions. These are different forms of religion. But they all talk about love, about compassion, about kindness, about non-violence. And unless that is there in our consciousness, it will not manifest in our relationships. Even though we may decide to do so. Take for example the edict that you must love your neighbor. Jesus Christ said those beautiful words. And Christians have tried. It's not that they have not tried. They really respect the Jesus. And they try to live by that edict. But have they been able to come upon love for the neighbor? No. Because it's not something you can decide upon. You can't decide to love your neighbor. You can't decide not to be greedy, because there is a deep-rooted causation within our consciousness whose symptom is that feeling. Unless that causation is eliminated, that feeling will come up. And when you decide not to yield to that feeling, it only creates a conflict between what you think you should be and what you actually are. What you actually are is what you actually feel. When you look at your neighbor, if you feel anger, if you feel jealousy, if you feel rivalry, then that's your actual feeling. You may say to yourself that I must love him. That's not a reality. So outwardly, you will go and say to him, you smile and you are nice to him. Nothing wrong with it, being polite. But that's not love of your neighbor. So that's why virtue cannot really be practiced. It is not something which is in the field of decision of a human being. You don't have to accept this as a view. You can try it. You can say to yourself, from tomorrow I will be cheerful and happy, and see whether your decision works. That from tomorrow I won't worry, and see if your decision works. And you will discover for